But coming over from Europe yesterday, I have to, and listening to your comments today, to your presentations, and there's just one thing I want to mention. Like, what I realize is that we have a common direction. We have common experience and we have common obstacles. So actually, I think that is a pretty cool thing. You know, just cross the Atlantic and there's things in common. So, Dwayne, I changed my presentation kind of impromptu because actually I had to hand in the presentation 2 weeks ago, was it? And I think that's quite difficult because if you don't know each other's direction and if you don't know each other's obstacles, how are you going to share experiences? Right. So when listening to you today, something came to my mind, and I just would like to share that because we've been. Well, the question is, how can we, with what we do with the Kata now for 10, 11 years, how can we make it stick? How can we make it work? And maybe there's 3 things we could be concerned about, also in order to avoid that what we do with the Kata gets kind of just a tool. It's, not just having the starter kata, but even if people kind of go beyond the starter kata, I realize that is somewhere in their thinking, they think of it as, you hear it in the language. We have Lean projects, we have Six Sigma projects, we do shop floor tip, and then we do kata projects. And then you go like, it's not actually what we're intending to do. So here's an idea we could discuss during the 2 days. Maybe there's 3 things we need to focus on and then actually think about how does Kata fit inside that. So one thing we've been talking about is scientific thinking. So we could say here the SkyFi, I use SkyFi, the SkyFi brain. And we could say, well, there is, you said routines, Mike? Routines or methods? Methods, yeah, routines for learning that. And that could be the improvement kata, it could be PDCA, it could be A3, shaping the mindset. And then there's a second thing we talked about, and that is heart of the coach. Because what I often say is when it comes to coaching with the kata comes down to a very simple question: how do I want to manage and lead my team? How do you want to manage and lead your team? And even maybe beyond that, what kind of person do you want to be as a manager? So maybe there could be, well, there are routines for learning that. One of them is the starting routine of the coaching kata. And then we heard about body language for learning that heart of coach. And there's maybe another one. I mentioned that idea last year on the Europe KataCon in Amsterdam, because our language often kind of what do you call it? What's verraten in English? No, not that one. It explains our thinking. Yeah, because we're talking about coach and learner, and I'm just proposing that thought. Maybe we need to change this kind of title for the learner. Because what I see is that we as coaches have to learn a lot more than the learner. And it's more like learner experimenter, learner improver, he's improving the process, and then there's the learner coach. So here's just a small habit you could do. When you walk towards your coaching cycle, you say to yourself, I'm the learner. And then there's number 3 here. And I call that system design. And that was what actually my presentation was meant about. I wanted to talk about system design. And I won't use the slide, you have it for download in the handout. We could think of a company as a system and then ask ourselves, well, what are the main system processes? And maybe going with that famous sentence from Scott Adams, just adapting it a little bit, like tools are for losers, systems are for winners. So like maybe there's 3 system processes any company should think about. So one is like, how do you manage today? Some call it shop floor management. Yeah. So it's like detect the problem, immediately solve it or report. So recognize, solve, report. The next level, recognize, solve, report. Recognize, solve, report. Of course, that will help us to win today, but will not like prepare us for tomorrow. So therefore, we will need a third process, which we could call establish targets, target deployment. So coming from a long-term vision, breaking it down into target conditions, do it repeatedly, which will help us to have a clear direction for tomorrow. And then we would probably need the third process, striving for these targets, which could be like a coaching cascade, improvers and coaches. And then, of course, we could have the Kata as a running system, especially the coaching Kata in that improvement cascade. But we could also have it in our how do we manage every day in our shop floor cascade. We could have it there. So it's more a question of how can we build Kata inside into our system design. And another thing is that sometimes in companies you hear people talking about, for this we use Kata, for this we use that. And then another discussion is, well, isn't it all improvement? Well, here's just a final picture. The word improvement is very difficult to understand because we might use it in different contexts. For example, if you do shop floor management and you solve a problem, yeah, that's an improvement. But it's maybe more like if you do a 100-meter sprint and you have a stone in your shoe, well, you stop and take it out. Yeah, problem solved. Unless you solve it, you cannot continue running, but probably you will not win the race. And then we have maybe some tip improvement, which is like run faster. And then you probably need another improvement, which is, well, if my competitors tomorrow use a bike, what do I do? So that's kind of innovative improvement. So maybe just think about that. Yeah. So we could say it's like, what is the scientific method and how are you going to implement it? That's scientific thinking. How are you going to change the heart of your coaches, and what is your system design? So I'll be happy to discuss that with you in the next 2 days. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, before we get the next step, so let me tie a few things together. Thilo, I think what you're talking about, again, goes back to Scott. Scott, I can't believe how much yours ties into. This is like, yeah, wow. So we had ideas like love your learner, and I think, Julie, if we get to you, that's kind of your presentation, isn't it? So your non-verbal communication is affected by your feeling toward the learner and what they're trying to achieve, or that you're both trying to achieve this goal, but you're the coach and you can't play the game, they're the ones playing the game. But there's another level, the coach is a learner too. That's going to change my nonverbal communication if I'm standing there and, well, okay, it's kind of tough, but I feel the same way about the damn stuff I have to practice here and to figure out and get into my head. I'm going through the same awkward process. So that's another way that my communication as a coach, if you come in as a coach and you feel you're superior, all right, I'm a coach. I'm going to be asking you these questions here, that as opposed to, okay, you're learning something, I am too, bear with me here. I may have to refer back to this card, like Mark, you talked about. But another one, and if I wanted to ask you specifically about this, and maybe Brandon, the coaches also do improvement kata, right? So you're not just a coach. In your own sphere of whatever you're trying to achieve, you are once again, and it's not like you become a coach and you don't use the improvement kata anymore, right?
You have your objectives and your challenges.
Right, and you use
your manager.
And there's
right.
Like whenever and that's another good thing for coaches to understand or to think about. When you start coaching, you're entering kind of a contract, because your improver will solve the obstacles in his area of responsibility.
Right.
Sure enough, he will find some obstacles that are obstacles in his area, but the root cause is outside his area of responsibility. So whose responsibility is it to work on these obstacles? Well, it's the coaches, and then that coach is improver,
right,
which needs a coach.
Oscar wrote an article about that it's on LinkedIn, right? You published it there, right? Yes. It's a very good article about how the obstacles move. They become something else. They become external to the learner, for example. Yeah. Okay, and the coaches, I mean, how many people have experienced this at work when the subordinate, I don't like that word, discovers that the boss is going through the same thing? We had it at Bosch. Bosch was one of the 5 research sites more than 10 years ago now for the original Toyota Kata book, actually. And I remember scenes where people would look at the boss and go, oh, you're doing this too? And there was all of a sudden a different kind of connection between the two. Oh, you're going to go grasp the current condition, establish a target condition, experiment toward your target condition. You have different content, but you're using the same pattern. It really was kind of nice. It really equalized things. All right, thanks, Tilo. That was really helpful.